This is what it's come to.
This is it. This is our lives now.
Yes.
We don't actually leave these
No,
chairs.
no, we just hang out here in this dark room.
Till it's time to do another one. Till we think of other shit
Yeah.
that we have to talk about.
Yeah. But you've been doing other shit this week.
Yes, I did a gig for the first time in a long time. A proper gig, actually.
Last night, right?
Yeah, it was a lot of people. It was a charity gig for Lebanon. So all these Lebanese people and all these footballers and big stars. I didn't know anybody because I don't follow the footy.
Yeah, yeah.
So all these big celebrities were backstage and they're going, "Hi, I'm such and such." Yeah, good on you, mate. You must be a fan of mine. And then I realized these guys were like legends.
Right.
And I went on and told them that I'm not Lebanese, I'm Egyptian. But I did live in Punchbowl for 5 years. And the law is once you've lived in Punchbowl for 5 years,
You're an honorary.
you get your Lebanese citizenship.
Yes.
There's a ceremony
Of course.
where they
of
bash
course.
you with
Yeah.
knuckle busters and steal your hubcaps. No, they were lovely people actually. But I did tell them that Egyptians are better, and they seem to agree.
Yeah.
That's what I
that was
opened with.
positively received.
I think so. It
Yeah.
depends. I mean, eventually it will be positively received once they absorb the information.
Yeah.
Because their big star Hazem El Masri. You know him?
No.
You don't know him because you don't follow football.
No.
But I know him because he's actually, there are certain characters that transcend the sport. Like they're
Right.
so famous.
Yeah.
You don't have to
Like a
follow-
Wally Lewis.
Wally Lewis, exactly.
Yeah.
He's the ethnic Wally Lewis.
Yeah.
And his name is Hazem El Masri, which means Hazem the Egyptian.
Oh.
Yeah, and he's Lebanese.
Yeah.
So even the Lebanese don't want to be Lebanese. They want to be Egyptian.
Did you open with that last
Yeah,
night?
yeah,
Oh, good.
yeah, yeah.
That would have gone down well.
It did. It go.
Yeah.
They seemed, and then they bashed me
Yeah.
with knuckle busters.
And got your hubcaps.
That's
Yeah.
right. No, they were actually lovely people, and it was such a good gig. Charity gigs tend to bring out the best in people.
Yeah, people are there for a good cause. It's,
Yeah. Yeah.
There's an excitement about it too.
Yeah.
that-
It was about, I don't know about the social distancing, but they seem to not care so much about it. Yeah, there was about 300, 400 people.
Right.
And
How was it laid out?
it's just
Were they keeping distance or
Well,
seemingly
just
or
bullshit
no?
distance. What
Yeah.
the distance? I don't get the whole distance thing.
Yeah.
It's got to be bullshit, right?
How were they laid? How was it laid
The
out?
little
the scene?
tables like the Comedy Store, round tables.
Yeah.
And but they were fairly close.
Yeah.
Not enough for the virus to go. Oh,
No, I believe there is a theory about that the virus only goes around tables.
Well,
it can't.
it's a lazy virus.
Yeah.
It's a
yeah,
bludger
hangs
virus.
out of the table.
He goes,
and won't-
I could go and infect that guy over there in table 7, but that's a long way.
Yeah, yeah.
That's more than a meter. And I don't get it. But forget that. There were no one died, and there were
Yeah.
a really good audience, and they were all. Every single member of the audience was of Middle Eastern appearance,
Mm-hmm.
except one guy. He was blonde, and he couldn't be any more white. Like when someone is white, but then this guy actually telegraphs it.
Yeah.
Said, "Look at me, I'm white, blonde,
Aryan look.
very Aryan
Yep.
in this crowd." And he stood out. It was like a spotlight
Yeah.
in the crowd.
So obviously you would have been drawn to that during your act.
Well, I couldn't help it. There
Yeah,
was such
of course.
Well, they're a gentle audience, and they're going, "Oh no, leave him alone." Haram. Haram means that it's not kind.
Yeah.
know.
Were they yelling that out?
Yeah, haram, haram. But I wasn't being nasty. I was just pointing out that maybe he was in the wrong gig.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe I said something that.
Can I just imagine what you would have said?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
said there's a white supremacist rally 4 blocks down.
I should have said that.
Oh, no, you didn't? Oh,
no,
that's what I
no.
thought you might
I said
have.
there's a Bon Jovi tribute show. You should have gone to that. I don't know where that came from. Or that actually yours would have been better.
No, but my one, but I'm
Harsher.
just thinking what you would have said.
Oh,
I
yeah,
might
yeah.
have said the Bon Jovi line on stage, but I thought
Yeah,
you would have said something like the,
No, I was channeling you.
yeah.
I was channeling you. We're gonna swap.
Yeah,
We've been seeing so much of each other. We're
Yeah.
gonna transform into each other.
Yeah.
And you're gonna saying, growing up as an Arab.
Yes.
And I'll be doing your bit, and
You'll
I'll
be doing Tom Cruise.
And as the years progress, I get taller and I get more hair and become better looking. And you,
Yes.
let's not go into that because it's tragic.
Well, I'll just get shorter, but I'll get funnier. So.
Well,
yeah.
no, that's subjective. I don't know. I don't know. Look, it's been a crazy time, and if it wasn't for the internet, I think everyone would go mental. Everyone would start burning things and breaking.
Or do you
things.
think that it's because of the internet that people are going mental?
No, I think it's
No.
keeping people sane. Because,
Really? Because
yeah.
before, like, during the plague, there was no internet.
Oh,
During the
yeah.
Black Plague.
I remember,
And during the Spanish flu,
Oh,
there was no internet.
no
A-
internet,
and
no. You sure?
Well,
Someone must have had it.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, the Illuminati.
yeah, I'm sure that they
No,
had it.
that's true.
And people still seem to, I know the population was very different then, but I'm just thinking, population doesn't
yeah.
really matter if you're isolating, right?
Yeah.
So I think the internet has been creating more
A detriment.
more issues.
Yes, maybe it's a fair argument. There's a lot of hatred around in the world right now that has
Yes.
spread, that probably wouldn't have spread as fast without the aid of the internet.
Yes.
but
and it's and there's a lot more misinformation now.
That's
through
true.
the internet.
that's what
You know,
so you say. I
and-
don't know.
and-
Maybe,
and-
where'd you get that information?
Oh no,
Yeah,
I might
I
be
know.
misinformed.
You must be misinformed. Everything on the internet is correct. It's been checked. I've checked it.
And I just noticed this week too. You know that guy Shane Jacobson?
Yeah, yeah.
He's been like targeted online. He wrote some post on online about these people coming out against him, and because he did an a pro-mask,
Pro-mask, yeah.
commercial
So all the conspiracy theorists.
with Magda Zabansky, and so
Yeah.
they all just went. And then Magda Zabansky wrote a thing about some guy on My Kitchen Rules. One of
yeah,
the
yeah.
hosts,
Yeah, yeah.
and he
He's a
went
conspiracy
yeah,
theorist.
and all of it, and he's like sold up and moved to the northern rivers and putting together, which sounds like some kind of quasi-cultish community that has been put together.
Nice.
I didn't really look into it enough. I just read, the
I-
article. Like I didn't go beyond the article to really see what was going on.
Yeah,
But
Shane Jacobson is everywhere and he talks a lot. So maybe you should put that mask on and put it on really tight and shut the fuck up. He's everywhere. The guy from Kenny.
yeah,
The lot of fear, a lot of anxiety at
Yes.
the moment. And the people in power, and I'm going to think the people in power love this.
yeah. Oh no, I agree with you there. I agree.
They want this chaos.
Yeah.
Because it feeds into their agenda. Mm-hmm. Do I sound like a loony?
No,
It's true.
you. I think you're on. Please tell me more.
Let me tell you. Tell me what you think. In America this week, after all that's happened with police shootings and everything, you'd think there'd be a policeman shot a black man in the back 7 times, unarmed. Right? Now, I thought straight away. I thought this is my.
Now, is this the one that they thought had a knife?
Yeah.
Okay.
But he didn't. His kids
So
were
no,
in the back.
Of course, but not technically unarmed. He had a knife, though, right?
No.
Oh, he didn't have a knife.
There was a knife in the car.
Oh, okay.
But the policeman thought he was reaching for it. But the policeman's got a gun and tasers
okay.
and
Yep,
stuff.
Yep, sure.
And
I just want to
and
get.
he was facing. He wasn't even front on.
Yeah, and they shot him in the back.
Yeah, in the back 7 times.
Hmm.
Right now, this is what I think happened,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I'll be proven correct eventually.
Okay.
People think Saleh's gone mad. He's lost it.
Mm-hmm.
I think Donald Trump is losing the election, and he's desperate to win at any cost. So he went to this guy, or his people went to this policeman and said, "Look,
Okay.
basically, I'm losing. Trump's losing election. You can help him win." And so basically, we want to ignite a lot of, mayhem. And so you can shoot this guy, and if you kill him, you're fine because Trump will pardon you once he wins the election, and here's another $10 million.
Okay. So what's it?
That's what I think happened.
Okay.
I got no proof, and I got no basis for it wouldn't stand up in court, of course. There's
Yes.
no evidence.
Right, but that's your hunch.
That's my hunch.
Okay.
Is that they did this intentionally to fan the flames of conflict.
Okay. All right. First question.
Yes.
What does Trump have to gain about this person being shot?
Well, this is. I'm glad you asked.
Yes. Yes.
I have no idea. No. What happens is whenever there's chaos, there's a saying in politics: never let a crisis go to waste.
Yes.
And he wants to portray himself as the tough Republican law and order president. So he'll create this tension, and we'll be on the brink of civil war. And then Trump will say, "Okay, now it's time for me to move in the troops, the army, whatever here."
Yeah. Okay.
And then reinstate calm, and then people go, "What a hero! This guy, we can't do without him because if we get rid of him, there's going to be more chaos."
Right.
That's what he's thinking. So I think the whole thing was planned. Yeah, seriously, I believe that.
But wouldn't they set it up more so it's like go say somewhere where there would be a man armed and maybe shooting at the cop? Because the scenario just seems so back turned. Oh, so it's worse. He wanted the back turned.
Yeah, because if he was armed, people wouldn't protest.
Yeah.
He has to be an innocent man, and his children are there.
But aren't they? Isn't this causing more hassle for Trump having people protesting in the streets?
No, because what they do is there's a thing called problem, reaction, solution. So they create the problem, and then they react to it, calm it down, whatever, and then they say this is the solution, and the solution feeds into his hands. He is the law and order president.
But see, the problem is with Trump of late, what have been the solutions, though?
Well, the solution is once it gets completely out of control, and the country is divided, because it's polarized.
Yes.
They're on the brink of civil war. Things will start to get much, much worse in the next couple of months. That's what he's hoping. And then he'll come in and send in the troops. The troops and then everything is normal. Some people will get upset, but the majority of Americans will go, good on him. He did the right thing. He was tough. Joe Biden's not going to be tough. He's going to have a nap. He's an old man. But Trump is the tough guy, and that's what he's counting on.
Right.
And it sounds crazy, but they've used this before. By the way.
Okay. Now, what's happened after this gentleman was shot?
Well, the town where he was shot is chaotic. People are burning things, which is exactly what he wants. And so they show, and from all reports, most of the protests are calm, but they don't film that because it's boring.
No, it doesn't make him media. Yeah,
no, Fox News will could be one guy with a match and they'd film that. They go, look at him, it's out of control.
So if this was planned, as you say, by Trump, it's backfired on him.
No, it hasn't.
They're peaceful protests. The people are just
no, it's not peaceful.
Oh, I thought you said that they were peaceful. That's why the news isn't covering it.
No, but there's enough chaos for the news to cover it. And see, I know more than most people, and to cover it, and then the illusion is that the country is on fire. The country is on fire. Look at this; they're burning and looting and they're shooting, and then.
But this is during his presidency, so doesn't it reflect worse on him?
It seems yes. It's a very good point. It's an excellent point, but the story's not yet over.
Oh.
You see, he's going to come in and save the day.
Right. And so he's holding back.
He's holding back. He's blaming.
He's on the cavalry, just beyond the ridge.
Just hang on, guys. I'll tell you when.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Yeah.
And it's I think that's his plan. They do it all the time.
Well,
that during the Democratic the Republican convention, they were talking about militia. And this guy, do you know about the young guy, 17-year-old? So these protests are happening, right? And Fox News and Trump and all the people who spoke in the campaign say we have to fight these militia. There's no militia. It's just bullshit, just to frighten people. And so this young kid, there's a group of vigilantes who took out guns, semi-automatic weapons,
right?
And basically to protect shops and stuff, without them being asked. And the police came in and gave them water and said, we really appreciate you guys. Look, that's on camera.
Protecting these storefronts that they thought might be looted or what?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
And pushing people away. At their own discretion, they can shoot people. And the police came in and said, good on you guys, you're fantastic.
Have a water,
Have a water, right?
Yeah.
And that's on film.
Right.
And so this kid got really energized by this and went and shot 2 people. He killed 2 protesters.
Really?
Yeah.
White or black?
Black.
Yeah.
He used white. Now that feeds right into look.
Sure.
And then on top of that, the conspiracy continues.
Okay.
On Fox News, one of the highest profile
rating.
This.
But I wouldn't say high profile. Like
This guy can call the president. He's got
one of these talking heads who are very opinionated and
Tucker Carlson, fucking scumbag, evil motherfucker, said, "Yeah, that's great. I can really understand why this kid went and shot these people. Because look at this. If the police aren't doing it, then we have to do it." And people went, yeah, that's true. And so they're igniting this war, and no one's going to vote for an alternative because this guy's going to come in and restore order. Yeah. That's what he wants. That's
okay, well, we'll put it to the test in the coming weeks.
Yeah.
We've only got a couple of months until the big election. We'll see if he does that. And that then will prove your theory.
That I am the king of the world. Yeah. I should be president.
Okay, well, we will look into that and see if this comes to fruition.
This has happened.
Because he's not doing anything at the moment. I just look at this as causing more trouble for his presidency.
I'll tell you why it's not. Because where the anger and the protests are happening, they're all democratic states.
Right, blue states.
Yeah, they're blue states. He's saying, look, this is the blue states. It's not happening in the red states. Right. And they're blaming that, and they're exaggerating it and blowing out of proportion, and he wants civil war because it's a game to him. It's a reality TV show.
Yeah.
If the world ends, he goes, well, that's a wrap.
Yeah.
Come on, everyone, lunch.
Yeah. How was the viewership?
Yeah. How's the ratings for the end of the world?
It was the best.
It was the best, I tell you. It's so insane. You think this is outrageous, but how World War II started. I don't know if it's actually that was the point where it started, but there's a well-known scenario where the Nazis went and killed their own, right? So they had this. There was a station of military German troops, and Hitler ordered these Secret Service people to go and kill all the German, machine gun them, and said
German civilians.
No, there was army people.
Oh right, okay.
And he massacred people.
His own.
Yeah, right. and then reported, the Polish people did this, and this gives us reason to go in
to invade Poland.
Yeah, and this is well documented. This is a technique that's been happening forever.
But it didn't matter about his reason for invading Poland because they all, as all the history books say, if he had stopped at Poland, then the rest of the world wouldn't have got involved. And Chamberlain, he wanted to.
No, but yes, Chamberlain wanted to appease him,
and Hitler wanted to be allies with England because he loved the English class system.
You know what's another point? Churchill was a member of the Eugenics Society. You know about the Eugenics Society? Eugenics Society is basically what Hitler believed, is that, the survival of the fittest, there are people who are genetically better than others, and the ones who are less should just die out. And that's what Churchill believed.
But Churchill was anti-Hitler because he went to have that meeting with Hitler, and Hitler didn't come out, but he saw him at the window. Hitler, he looked up and saw Hitler.
Waved. Oh no, shit! Here he comes. Tell him I'm not here.
And then
tell him I'm out. I'm out.
Saw him behind the curtain. and Churchill came back and said, Chamberlain, you can't sign this deal with Hitler. Do not deal with this man. He is.
That was political, but I'm just saying morally.
Right.
Or ethically, you always present this guy as, he's the high moral.
Churchill.
Yeah.
Right.
He wasn't. Huh. He was as racist as anybody.
Really?
He would have had more in common with Hitler than you would think.
Where'd you get this information?
Well, this is where my argument falls to the ground. It's true.
No, but is this?
This is factual. You can check, and I'm happy to be challenged on it.
Okay.
But he was a member of the Eugenics Society. He believed he's a white supremacist, basically.
Right.
Check this and get back to me next week.
Yes.
And my prediction, and Joel will say, Akmal, you were correct. Yeah. I'm sorry that I've ever doubted you.
Yes.
Right? It's true. There's no good or bad. It's all bad. I'm sorry.
All bad?
It's everything.
No, there's got to be some good.
Where's the good?
Well, there are some people out there doing good in the world.
Oh, yeah, there are.
Are you saying politics?
I'm talking about the movers and shakers, the people who affect policy and the people who start wars and all that.
Here's the thing. I think the majority of people, like even in America, they just want to live a good life, a decent life, and treat people fairly and just provide for their family.
Yeah, the Ku Klux Klan, they're lovely people. Once you get beyond the sheets, they're actually not bad.
Not the Ku Klux Klan.
The average person.
The average person, But there's these extremities in the media of, say, Fox and CNN. They're polar opposites, right? And you have these talking heads, opinionated. But the middle ground, which I think is where majority people lie, there's no voice for them. And it seems to be these extremities nowadays, and I think that's what makes the newsworthy,
And do you think that's intentional or by accident?
I think intentional.
It's intentional.
But I'm saying people just switch off, from these extreme points of views that are being spewed out by these opinionated talking heads on both sides, and just figure out a way to unify.
They won't let you unify. Because
divide and conquer, look, the age-old.
Yes,
but at least in Australia, right, during this whole COVID thing, we have, two parties, right, that are opposing usually in views. But then Scott Morrison comes forward and says, we got to do these lockdowns, people should be wearing masks, etc., etc. And then it goes to the opposition leader and they're like, yeah, we agree with that.
Yeah.
And if it was more so like that in America, where there could be some form of diplomacy, where there was a common enemy, which is this COVID, and then they come together and figure out the best possible way to approach this.
Well, that won't happen because money is the root of all evil, and money drives American politics. So
with money, though, here's the thing. I think there must be a bigger picture here that's unfolding that we don't know about.
Yes.
Because in terms of money, there's corporations that are going under. There's major, major
economic collapse.
Yes.
We're on the brink of economic collapse.
However,
yes,
there must be a bigger picture here where, people like Bezos is making even more money with him.
Bezos. Don't get me started on Bezos. Who the fuck's Bezos?
The richest man in the world, Jeff Bezos.
I don't know.
He owns Amazon.
Okay, why doesn't he pay my mortgage? You know how little that would be for him?
Nothing. It'd be nothing. But it would be good if he started paying his employees a decent wage.
Or even his employees, yeah.
But you see, for people like him, he's benefiting from this.
Of course.
But there must be a bigger idea here where if people, we've spoken about this before, you and I, people when they're in debt and they have a mortgage looming over their head, they have, and now people are getting more and more in debt as a result of coronavirus. So the powers that be, whether they be the banks or whoever.
Well, the 1%, they call them the 1%.
This really isn't affecting them.
No, it's actually benefiting them because they are the controllers of the wealth. If you owe them money, then they own you. They own your property. They own you.
Like the Reserve Bank or the Treasury.
Well, that's it. The Reserve Bank is a private company.
And we don't even know who the people are that are pulling the strings in that bank. They are not obliged to reveal their identity of who they are.
They're the real masters of the universe.
And you think that the American government is in debt to them. They were way before this coronavirus.
Yeah, it's a flawed system.
Okay, so...
to keep people poor and easily manipulated.
So the age-old... There's two age-old sayings that we need to acknowledge.
Yes.
Divide and conquer. And if you want to really find out who's pulling the strings, who's controlling everything, follow the money.
Exactly. And that's it. And if Jesus said anything that made any sense, he said a lot of nonsense. But one of the things that you go, yes, was money is the root of all evil. Jesus said that. He said a lot of nonsense, like, I am the light, the truth, and something. And
but he also said...
He got drunk a lot.
He also said, treat people with love and compassion. That's that was a good one.
Yeah, that was revolutionary.
Yeah.
No one's ever said that before.
Yeah.
Very original. He's a plagiarist. That's what Jesus was. The golden rule. That's what, if you just follow the golden rule.
When you were having, some time ago, we came up with a scenario of who you would have over for dinner. Would Jesus be amongst the... Would you invite him to
this is, if you're not familiar, was it a few, we don't know. At some point, this is your favorite question to ask is, who would you like to have over for dinner if you can have anyone?
Yeah.
And I thought about this a lot, and I thought, okay, I live in Queanbeyan at the moment.
Yeah.
So, Bob Dylan's not going to travel to, and he's going to come to my house.
Hey, I saw Bob Dylan in Wollongong doing a gig.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure he'd go to Queensland.
Westfields. He was doing it at Westfields.
That's where I saw Chris Isaac. I did.
Yes.
Westfields.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
You've fucked up.
In the food court.
In the food court?
Yeah, years ago. No, it was Warringah Mall.
You sure it was Chris Isaac?
It was. I promise it was Chris Isaac. He even had it written on his guitar, Chris Isaac.
Oh, yeah. That would do it, yeah.
It was great, though.
And after the gig, did, men in white coats come and take him away? Sure, you're Chris Isaac.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, Chris Isaac.
Food court.
In the food court at Warringah Mall. This was like in 2004, maybe.
Oh, yeah. See, if he'd been careful with his money.
There was a record store there. It was a cross promotion, but yeah,
Oh, yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sure he
yeah.
would have been,
Yeah, so
firing his manager after that.
yeah, so I've thought about this. I mean, I'd like to. First of all, they'll have to come. Like so. I'm a
But
big
no,
fan.
that's what the whole thing is about.
It's a fantasy.
They got to turn up. You're
they have to.
You're having these people over for dinner.
Oh, okay. There's a lot of dog shit at the moment. We've got 3 dogs.
Yeah.
Oh no, Woody Allen stepped in dog shit.
I
And
mean,
I can't believe it. He
can't
hates
believe-
dogs, and
Yeah.
and so look, there
So
are a
you
lot
would
of-
have Woody Allen?
Woody Allen because of not because of his sexual perversion, but mostly for his films, less so for his sus behavior.
Although you read his book, right? Woody Allen's latest book.
Yeah.
And he addressed those accusations in the book.
He's been exonerated completely. But, he did go out with his daughter.
Yeah.
So, look, I'm not judging.
Yeah.
I'm not judging, but...
okay, so
but he's a genius.
Yeah.
There
is no doubt.
If you're a genius, you're allowed to do sus things. Okay? Because we benefit. Yeah. Like, if he went to jail, we'd lose out.
Yeah.
Let him marry his daughter. It's fine.
Yeah.
Ancient Egyptians did it. Look what they did.
Yeah. Well, they were having children when they were teenagers, like,
That's right.
early teens. But then in Egypt, though, you got to look at it's like dog years.
Yeah.
It's like
Beg your pardon?
The average age was what, like 20s, 30? Like, we're talking about ancient Egypt times. So
not so ancient. My grandmother had her first child when she was 14.
Yeah. Oh, right. Okay.
And she was a child, 14 back in the 30s or whatever.
But that was normal in Egyptian culture.
Yeah, 14.
Yeah.
And then she
was she married at that point? Or?
Oh yeah, no, she wasn't. She wasn't a hooker.
No. So she was. So how old was she when she got married? 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is like quite normal. Yeah, it's really tragic. And then her first baby, she didn't know how to. No one
She's
taught
still
her.
a baby herself.
She's 14. She's a child.
Come on, yeah.
And she rolled on her baby and suffocated.
Oh
it,
no!
killed it.
Really?
Yeah. She lost 3 babies, but had 8 children that survived. She's like a Labrador.
Wow.
She was
a litter of pups.
Yeah, a litter
of bubs.
She spent her entire life being pregnant.
Yeah.
Oh
wow! But God, the guilt that you would feel, like rolling over and suffocating your own child.
Well, she was a child. She was 14, man. You think when you were 14, you're having a baby.
Yeah.
And so tell me who are the people you would have over?
Who would I have? Hang on, we only got 2 of yours. So we got Bob Dylan and
Woody Allen.
And Woody Allen. There's a Jewish contingency to this.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the
well,
Jews.
that's good. Arab with Jew. This is like breaking of the bread,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we're very similar. We're Semitic, and all the males in all the Middle Eastern cultures are circumcised.
That's true.
That's what needs to happen. For peace to happen in the Middle East, just take your pants down and go, look, you're my brother. Give me a hug. Not too close. That's right. No, most of my heroes are, Mel Brooks.
Yeah.
Leonard Cohen.
Yep.
It's funny.
What about Noam Chomsky?
Noam Chomsky. Groucho Marx.
Groucho Marx.
Marx Brothers.
Yeah, sure.
Stephen Wright.
Yeah, Stephen Wright.
He's Jewish. Yeah. All the great comedians. So what I'm saying is, I wish I was Jewish.
Yeah.
I'm circumcised already, so don't have to go through that.
No.
And I don't eat pork.
You don't eat pork.
I don't eat meat at all.
Yes.
And I got a bald patch in here that looks like a yarmulke.
Yes.
A
reverse yarmulke.
I'm an honorary Jew.
Yeah.
That's right.
You've been to the
I've been to Israel.
To the homeland. Yeah.
Have we done that bit?
Yes.
Oh, we have. No, it was a mind-blowing experience, and it's so sad. People just, that's it. Humans are just flawed.
Yes, very.
I was thinking this about. I will get back to your guest.
my dinner.
Oh no, have we met? So Groucho Marx.
We got Groucho Marx at your dinner.
Yeah.
We have Bob Dylan.
Okay,
what are each person bringing to the dinner? What's Groucho bringing to the dinner?
Well, he's a comic genius. I mean, most people underestimate how good the Marx Brothers were.
Oh no, brilliant.
Yeah. But the average person wouldn't think so because they're old. And in the 1930s, man, they did some things that nobody had done, and the wordplay plus the physicalities and the surreal
and that anarchy that they brought.
The anarchy. It looked out of control, but it was meticulously crafted.
Yeah.
So he was a genius, and he influenced a lot of people. Michael Palin. I think because
a non-Jew.
Yeah,
Wow.
a non-Jew, first
okay.
non-Jew. Maybe I'll have him separately.
Yes.
I'll have him separate because he's anti-Semite.
Yeah.
No, he's not.
But Michael Palin it would be a great guest.
Yeah,
He would. And I hear very good things about Michael Palin too.
Well, he seems like a warm, down-to-earth person.
Yes.
John Cleese, I wouldn't let him anywhere near my house, even though I admire his work.
Yeah.
Because he
Well,
would
there's
probably...
some people I know that have had encounters with Mr. Cleese.
Yes.
They
were pleasant?
Very. They speak very highly of him. And a friend of mine who is when he was in Australia was his masseuse.
Oh.
And it said it couldn't have been more lovely. And when he went to London,
but that's only half an hour with him.
Yeah,
isn't it? That's all, and he wouldn't have said.
But
much.
Regularly, and got to know him really well, and his wife as well. And when he came to London, they invited him to see.
That wasn't one of those massages.
No.
No. That's good.
They invited him to see the Monty Python reunion, and they backstage went to his house and said he couldn't have been more lovely. And Jonathan, amazing Jonathan, met him, had lunch with him.
Maybe.
And Arj Barker, he was on a TV show that he was on and said he was a lovely guy. So.
Well,
there are
maybe sometimes you get an impression of someone. Maybe I'm contradicting myself because earlier I said if you see someone too nice, you got to be careful because they're generally hiding something. Yeah. And if someone's grumpy, that's the people you trust.
Sure.
So maybe you're right.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And I told you that about when he did the awards night, the advertising awards, when he presented an award to my dad.
No, I didn't. Tell
me. This was back in the 80s.
Yeah.
And it was the Australian the Ad Awards.
Yeah.
And my dad at the time, this actually might have been late 70s. And John Cleese was the MC, the master of ceremonies for this big award night.
You weren't born yet.
No. And
so how do you know this happened?
Well, he told me.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah. Fair enough.
And so,
good answer. Yeah.
And so Dad was working for an agency at the time that Leo Schofield.
Yes.
He was the creative director, I believe, in the agency, and my dad was the art director on this campaign. Anyway, my dad won the award, but Leo Schofield thought that he was entitled to the award, and so. He says, and the winner is Richard Osborne. And then my dad gets up to go, and then Leo Schofield cuts him off and runs up in front of him.
Embarrassing.
And everyone's yelling out, no, that's not. So Cleese is like going, hang on, what's going on here? And people are yelling, that's not Richard, that's not. And so Leo Schofield comes up to get the award, and he looks at him, and John Cleese goes, are you Richard Osborne? And he says, no, I'm Leo Schofield. And he goes, well, if you're not Richard Osborne, you can fuck off. I got a lot of these to get through tonight.
Fantastic.
And then everyone cheered and applauded. And
straightforward. Well, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
Well, then Dad got the award. Leo scampered back to his seat.
Happy ending.
Yeah.
Now, good on John Cleese.
Good on John Cleese. He calls it as
Leo Schofield. What a fucking idiot. I mean, really, he thinks it, I'd love to see that though. Like, if you're waiting for an award and you're really convinced you're going to win.
Yeah.
And you hear that voice.
Yes.
And says it's you.
Yeah.
The Academy Award, everyone gets up.
Yeah.
They think,
well, remember that year with Bill Murray when he was up for and the cameras cut to him when they said it was Sean Penn. You see Bill Murray go.
Yeah. Yeah. It's honest. Yeah. People like honesty. It's very rare now. So so I'll have these people. Maybe one at a time because I'd want. I want to.
This is a big dinner too. You want to make
sure everyone's talking. Shut up.
You want one-on-one time.
Yeah. Imagine I get those people, these legends, and I'll just talk about myself. Okay, you got to listen to me. I did this gig in Blacktown.
Yeah.
And it went really well, and I didn't think it was going to go well, and they have to listen.
Yeah, the whole time.
And I don't want to know anything about them. Shut up.
They would probably like that though. Because
make it change. Yeah, I suppose, but I'd lose out. It's gotta no. And so I know you've got similar sort of heroes, but not. You'd have Tom Waits.
Tom Waits would be great.
Yeah, he'd lie on.
Tom Waits, and I could listen to Tom Waits just give tidbits and facts about things. He's got an amazing brain for trivia and facts on.
Yeah, and you've got a piano that he can sit and say, "Give it, come on, Tom."
Yeah, come on, Tom.
Do something from that album. Come on.
Come on, do something from Rain Dogs, Tom. He gets it all the time. I want something from Small Change. That was a great album.
Do you know the Piano Man? Do you know Piano Man? Can you do a version of that, Tom? I don't know that one. I don't know. Oh man, you got any pot?
My good friend Stewie does a great Tom Waits show.
Yeah.
Stewie Darietta. He does
Darietta.
Yeah, you've met Stewie.
Yeah. No. Does he do his voice?
Yeah, he sounds.
Wow.
Well,
Yeah.
I saw a great.
He's who said he was like a Saint Bernard? He sounds like a Saint Bernard.
Someone, I saw someone. I hadn't seen this, and it was years ago that it was put up. The Cookie Monster. They're doing God's Away on Business. God's Away business. Business. It was great.
A unique artist. It's amazing.
Yeah. So Tom Waits would, and Tom Waits, he would be. I think he would be a fun dinner guest.
Yeah, he's a funny guy.
Yeah, very good, great sense of humor.
Okay, Tom Waits.
Tom Waits. Bill Murray.
Bill Murray would be fun too.
Bill Murray would be great.
Yeah. But you got to also consider the chemistry because you don't want people to punch each other out.
I think Bill and Tom would get along.
Bill and Tom's Big Adventure.
Yeah, I think they would.
I think they would.
Clive James.
Yeah, so you got to resurrect him.
Yeah,
dig him up.
But I thought, does it have to be alive or dead? Can we have dead or dead? I don't know.
Well, I mean, let's go dead.
Okay.
Fuck it. But it leaves it wide open then.
Yeah,
it
does. All
right,
who would you
Buddha.
You
got Buddha. Fuck, he'd eat a lot. Big meal. Oh, shit, more. All you can eat.
Groucho would be a great one.
Yeah, tell some good. What about Bruce Springsteen?
I was going to say Springsteen would be.
He's getting a crowded house, man.
Yeah. All right.
You only live in an apartment.
Neil Finn, then. All right.
Neil Finn.
Crowded house. No, but
Danny Minogue. I can imagine her.
Yeah,
that's a long dinner table.
Jason Donovan.
Oh, imagine the people who you wouldn't have, but then you're forced to have dinner with.
Oh yeah, who would they be?
It'd be what's his name? Alan Jones.
Alan Jones.
Alan Jones to dinner.
Yeah.
Dinner with people you want the dinner to go quickly.
Yeah.
People you didn't want.
Go. Yeah.
It'd be like Alan Jones. It'd be Danny Minogue.
Yeah.
It'd be
Carrie-Anne Kennelly.
Carrie-Anne Kennelly. Yeah, for sure. What's his name? Andrew Bolt. From Sky News.
Yeah.
Or anyone from Sky News.
Anyone from Sky
fucking
News.
idiots. Yeah. They're gonna be there. And Ellen DeGeneres.
Ellen DeGeneres.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a big fan of her.
And you know who else I would say that may surprise you? Jerry Seinfeld. Because he'd be an arrogant prick and he wouldn't talk much anyway and he'd probably steal something.
Yeah.
Because he's a grubby man. No, look. So that's the dinner table that you
wouldn't want
of enemies.
You'd put him out on the porch.
Well, he'd say, "Oh, listen, fellas, it's getting late. I better get to bed."
You'd probably put arsenic in the food.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. No. But you murdered Danny Minogue.
You don't want to be doing that.
No, you don't want to be doing that.
What about Kylie?
Kylie Minogue?
Yeah. Kylie's all right.
She's all right, but would you want her to come to your house?
Yeah, bro, I don't know. Probably, she seems like a nice. I don't know.
She does.
I don't really know. I don't know anything about her, but she.
So she's welcome.
I guess so. She's just.
But
doing
you got to hire more chairs.
Yeah,
I've been to your apartment. It's very small.
I do. I would need more chairs. The front room, though, that's a nice room to have dinner.
Yeah, but you got to limit it, and social distancing.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't want to. Give Bruce Springsteen or Tom Waits the virus.
The COVID. Yeah.
I've got the virus.
Yeah.
So who would you have then?
Tom Waits would be a great one.
Tom Waits.
Springsteen.
Bruce Springsteen.
And Tom Waits. Springsteen has done Tom Waits' song "Jersey Girl."
And another one. Heart Attack and Vine.
Oh, did Springsteen do a version of Heart Attack and Vine? Oh,
and Jersey Girl.
Yeah, I said Jersey Girl.
Oh, you said Jersey Girl. I thought I'd just repeat it. So the three all up?
Yeah. Downtown Train. I wonder if he's done it. Downtown Train's a great song.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we got those three. Oh, no, and Bill Murray.
Bill Murray.
So
you'd have Bill Murray over Jesus? Or Martin Luther King or Nelson Mandela, and they don't interest you at all?
No,
they haven't done anything musically.
No iconic characters throughout. So we are doing from history.
Well, might as well now.
Muhammad Ali, he'd be good.
Oh, yes. I would have Muhammad Ali. Just himself. Muhammad Ali at his peak, not with Parkinson's, because he can't talk.
Yeah.
I want him at his best.
At his peak, yeah.
And
he would be a great guest.
He'd be fantastic. He'd be a very brilliant man. Brilliant. Yes.
Yeah. John Lennon would be a good one too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think John would be
John and Paul together.
Yep.
George and Ringo.
George would be great too.
George would be a nice guy.
George is the kind of guy I want to take a walk around the gardens,
hand in hand,
and just sit down, have a cup of tea in the
while
afternoon.
his guitar gently weeps.
Yeah, and just chat about. Chat
does.
about existence, life, what all this means.
I must admit, out of all the Beatles, I think he'd be the most, the nicest, the warmest, sort of like more down to earth.
Yeah.
Paul McCartney, he seems like a decent guy
He's a nice
too.
enough bloke. Yeah, he'd be a nice enough bloke, I think. And
down to earth.
And I think John,
genius.
John, you'd want to get on a good day though. I know that John, he could get moody at times.
No, well, I'll have plenty of heroin.
Yeah. But you know what? Ringo would be a fun
Ringo would be funny.
Like, all the interviews I've ever seen with Ringo, he's always been a very
But you know what I would ask Ringo if I was there? I'd say, why didn't you write any songs? Why aren't you as talented as the other three? Sorry, have you been asked that before? Whoops, where are you going? Ringo, come back. Poor Ringo. If he was with any other band, he'd be fantastic. But because he wrote a couple of songs.
Yeah.
But he's with the greatest band ever known to humanity.
Yes.
And
he was a solid drummer. He was a good drummer. There's people that try to talk his drumming capabilities down.
No, he was good.
He was actually and at the time they were so grateful to have him in the band.
Well, there's a comment by John Lennon. You know about this? They asked him early on. They said, "John, is Ringo Starr the greatest drummer in the world?" He said Ringo Starr's not even the greatest drummer in the Beatles. Great comeback, great line. Funny people, funny guys.
I've got a book called Postcards from the Boys, and they're all the postcards that had been sent to Ringo, and Ringo compiled them all together.
Yeah, because he had less to do. If he was writing songs instead of compiling shit, he would have been done better. But he seems
But even it would have been hard for Ringo to come forward to the guys, to John and Paul, with songs that he had penned himself.
Intimidating.
Even George struggled to bring it forward to. And that's why
when they broke up, George had a triple album with he produced a lot.
Yep.
Where Ringo just kept compiling stuff and collecting stamps and
writing back to letters. He did do that. He did. For many years he responded to all of the fan mail.
So who'd you have out of the Beatles? If you could have one of them?
Mate, gosh, I did say John, but thinking about it, George,
George would be better company.
Yeah, and George is a great sense of humor, very funny guy.
Yeah.
And he funded the Life of Brian.
Yes, I know that very well. Yeah, and he was in it for a few seconds.
Yeah, and
you gotta love him for that.
And they when they said to him, why? He goes, I just wanted to see the film. He goes, it's probably the most expensive movie ticket ever.
That's right. But wouldn't it be that powerful to read a script and go, go and make it.
Go on.
Call me when it's finished.
Yeah.
And because I want to see it.
Yeah.
It's power.
It is. Did you ever see the Scorsese documentary, Living in the Material World? That was great.
Yeah, we're big fans, but people listening may not be.
Of George Harrison?
Of the Beatles generally.
Of the Beatles, but come on, the Beatles, just listen to some of their music and...
we went to watch Paul McCartney, me and you and Aj.
Yes.
And watching this guy just reel out one classic after another.
Phenomenal. He did over 3 hours that night too.
3 hours, and he only did half his catalogue.
Yeah. There was some classics that were left out.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's incredible. And I thought, I got depressed. I thought, I haven't done anything.
Yeah.
I haven't, the things that he's achieved.
Sure.
But anyone looking at him would feel the same way, except maybe Einstein or Mozart would go, I'm just as good.
Yeah.
But you feel so inadequate thinking.
Yeah, sure.
I would love to be that.
I used to think more that way, and now I've just resided to the fact that...
Well, you're not going to be Paul McCartney.
I'm not in the race.
You're not going to write Hey Jude.
I'm not in the race.
So I
used to have that thought. I remember when I was younger and I was listening to... When I turned 20, and I was listening to Harry Connick Jr.'s album called 20, the album that he released. And I thought, God, if I could play half as good on the piano as him, let alone having written an album. And I used to think that. I thought that when I was younger, when I saw Amadeus when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I remember watching.
How many arias have you written?
Well,
how many operas? None.
They've got him as a kid.
Yeah.
And he's not only is he playing the music phenomenally, he's composing his own music, performing for royalty.
That's right.
I'm a kid. I'm looking at it. You know.
Yeah, I'm just going. Should I get a chocolate or a mint paddle pop? I can't decide.
My biggest accomplishment to date was doing up my shoelaces.
Yeah. That's right. Exactly. Yeah. You know, I mean that is an achievement relative to your talent.
It is.
I'm kidding. No, but that's the thing. You have to measure it according to the abilities you've been given. Have you lived up to your potential? That's all you got to do. You can't. You're not going to be Mozart.
Yeah,
you're not going to be.
And be thankful that there are people like Paul McCartney that is writing that sort of back catalogue of music that we can listen to, and he provides us with that music.
But that jealousy can be positive because it can make you say, "Well, I want to contribute too."
Can motivate you.
Wouldn't it be great to just like go to whatever? You can go to any country in the world and fill out stadiums. Any country.
Well, not anymore.
Well, not now. Yeah, not
during
now.
COVID,
Thanks for reminding. We're a depressing world. But before that,
I remember there was he did a show in Red Square in
Yeah,
Russia.
yes.
I remember seeing the footage of that, and Putin arrived, and everyone turned to look at Putin,
Yeah.
and Putin walked through, and he goes, and pointed back to the stage, you know, and everyone kind of turned around and looked back at the stage.
And the people who looked at Putin were later shot.
Yeah,
because
they were brought over to the Russian tea room.
That's right.
You know,
yes.
for
The
Russian
gulag.
tea.
The
Yeah.
gulags. Yeah. It's a strange world at the moment. It is, but it will. You think it'll get better? You think we'll get back to normal?
I think it will. I think what's normal anyway? Will it get back to normal?
Well, this isn't normal. I don't like this.
No.
I don't like this. I want to go back to
because it's unprecedented. Maybe this will become.
Well, it is precedented. It's 1919.
No, but on this scale, like where like the world's economies weren't collapsing, you know.
Well, there must have been. I mean, at the time, right?
Well,
because that was the plague after World War One.
Yes, 1918 was the end of World War One.
And then just when you think things couldn't get any worse,
here's a Spanish flu for you.
Yeah, awful.
Which originated in the US.
Yeah.
Did it not?
I don't know.
Or was it the returning troops that brought it back to the US and then it took off?
It started in China. That's what he said. It's that Chinese. I don't know, but you know, people have gone through some. It's not unprecedented.
Like I've said before, anyone born in the year 1900.
Yeah, tough times, and we've had it easy. We've had it easy up until recently.
You think if you, yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
But you think if you born in 1900, you got the First World War to deal with.
Yeah. Man, this is the war to end all wars.
Yep. And then you got the Spanish flu.
Oh, yeah.
And then you got the Roaring Twenties. Roaring Twenties were, you know...
Yeah, opium and dancing.
Yeah, dancing, liquor.
Yeah.
You know, because they brought in the... it was during the Prohibition era, but, you know, people were still drinking and partying.
Of course they were.
During the Jazz era.
Prohibition has never worked.
But they partied so hard during the Jazz era that F. Scott Fitzgerald said that looking at people in their mid-20s already looked old. They had already worn out.
People gone too hard too early.
Too hard too early. And then, okay, and then you get through that. What do you got at the end of the end of
World War II?
No, you got the Great Depression.
Oh, the Great Depression, 1930s,
1929, 1930s. You're on the downward spiral, and you're like, my God,
this is terrible.
And then Second World War.
Yeah.
And then after that, you know, there's the big boom in America after the Second World War, the material, age in America. But then you got the Cold War, so the threat of nuclear weapons.
Yeah, that was
the whole
tense.
time.
And then we came very close to the end of the world in Cuba.
Okay, all right. And so, you get into the end of that year in your late 60s.
And you go, man, tough.
Vietnam War now.
Vietnam,
oh my God.
And then Korea.
Yeah, and then you're pretty much... No, Korea was 50s, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you got that.
Let's not be pedantic about, when the Korean War was.
so you've got all of that just through... I don't know, what was the average life then? Maybe 70,
80, yeah.
Okay, so when you've got to 1970, the Vietnam War is still raging, and you're like, all right, I'm checking out now. So when you think about it, someone born in 1900, they went through a lot.
But considering that, look at all the things that were achieved, all the great art and the great music.
Yes, the great music that came out of that era.
The internet was invented. I mean, that was World War II. It was because of that.
I think if you were born in 1945, I think that would be a good. That you've gone through an interesting era in time, like our parents' generation, right? During that era, the baby boomers.
Yes.
I think there's. I think that's been the pick.
Yeah.
Because you have the creature comforts of certain technology by that point. Like you're not 50 years beforehand where you're having to, go and use the same bath that the rest of the family's already used before you.
Oh, is that bad?
Oh. Same bath.
I mean, no, that's terrible. Yeah. yeah.
And so,
because I lived in Byron, man. I lived in Mullumbimby.
Yeah.
That's quite normal behavior.
Yeah. And sharing the bath forever? Or so mama and papa have bath first and then the kids?
Not first. It's all
together.
All in the family.
How big is this bath?
I don't know. I'm just making shit up.
Right.
I'm making shit up. But no, I think...
So that must be where the saying, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater comes from.
Yeah.
Because the baby is the last to be washed?
Yeah, maybe.
Because you're throwing out the bath.
Some idiot threw the bathwater and
and
where the fuck's my baby? Oh, you didn't.
Not again.
Not again. I told, don't throw out
the baby with the bath. No.
We need the baby.
Yeah.
Don't need the bathwater. Remember that. Not the reverse. Look, I think a lot of people are very pessimistic at the moment, but
because more so, yes, this is unprecedented for this era, right? So that's why I think it's very, why this is so challenging during this time. I just wonder
We've been spoiled in a way.
Yeah, so I wonder how someone born in 1900 would have dealt with this kind of thing.
Easy. That's nothing. At least we're not getting bombed.
Yeah.
Then they start getting bombed. Oh shit! Because we don't know what's going to happen next.
Well, especially with the relations with China at the moment, there's tension building there.
Oh yeah, there's going to be some shit's going to go down, my friend.
I hope not. I hope this can be resolved in a appropriate manner.
Yes, but in the big picture, beyond our lifetime, I think humanity is doomed. Sorry to be so pessimistic.
You know what the big change is going to be? Technology.
That's right.
That's what's going to be the game changer for the future generations.
That's right.
So
the humans will be, most humans, I think, will become redundant, because everything will be done, and the machines will be able to create more machines far more efficiently and far more accurately and more sophisticatedly. Is that a word?
Yeah, in more of a sophisticated manner.
Well, that's probably a better way of putting it, yes. I can speak English. I learned it from a book. And humans will become less important, because humans have always been under the delusion that they're really important. They're not important.
No.
They're not significant to the universe.
No. I'm sure the dinosaurs thought that they were important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll see that.
Yeah.
Well, I'll fix that.
We'll attend to that.
Fucking dinosaurs. And, and I think that it will be a very mechanical, technological, algorithmically driven world. And humans will become far less important. Obsolete.
What about humans that are combining with that technology? Like they're being like a hybrid human?
There'll be exactly. Well, we're already a hybrid. Look at the way, I mean, I was driving today, and this is like in a bus stop, 3 girls are sitting, they don't know each other, and each of them are looking at their phones.
Yeah.
We're cyborgs already.
Yeah.
You see? But don't be scared of it. Embrace it. Be good.
But
don't delete yourself by accident.
I agree with a lot of a lot of people wrote this paper and signed off on it, like Hawkins, Elon Musk, there was...
Danny Minogue.
Yeah, Danny Minogue.
Imagine if she joined that list.
And Peter Andre. And it was basically saying that there needs to be more regulations on the development of artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
Because, did you see that film Ex Machina?
No.
Oh, it's very good, and I won't say too much about it, but you should watch it, and then we can talk about it.
Let's watch it for our next podcast.
Yes, and then we can chat about it in the future.
The future is not what it used to be.
Yeah.
Wasn't that what your grandfather used to say?
Yeah, he did. He used to tell me that. I couldn't sleep trying to figure that out at night.
Well, dementia is a terrible thing.
Yes.
But look, try and be optimistic. I think it's going to be an interesting world. It's going to move faster than it ever has in our humanity, in human history.
Sure.
And it's going to be changes and excitement and
let's try and enjoy the ride.
Well, we've got no choice.
Yeah.
you're on the roller coaster. You're not going to get up.
Yeah.
It's already in motion.
Yeah.
Just sit back.
Enjoy it.
Yeah. Scary bits.
Yeah.
It's a cliche, isn't it? I feel like
on that note,
like I'm Oprah.
Yeah. On that note.
On that note, I think this has been a very interesting chat.
It has been. It has.
Yes.
We once again we've gone in directions uncharted or unknown.
Unknown to us, that's for sure. Where are we?
I'm sure. Yeah. I'm sure to others that they could bring some interesting insights to it.
Look, there may be other podcasts out there who prepare
and tackle these kind of things
and read the facts before they explode them, but not us.
Not us, no.
Fuck that.
No. We just like to freeform and treat this as a conversation as we would as if no one was listening. Which could possibly
which is ironic, yeah. But we're listening.
Yes, we are.
That's the important
thing. And we
thing.
shall continue to listen.
If two guys do a podcast in the forest
and there's no one listening. Well, no, there is someone listening. We're listening to each other.
That's right. Yeah, yes. Forget that.
Are they doing a podcast?
That went horribly wrong. That analogy. In my head, it was so clear. Anyway, yes. Well, it's good to see you, Joel.
Yeah, good to see you too, Akmal, and well done on your successful show last night.
Yes, first time in a long time. I was rusty, but still entertaining.
Good.
Up to a point.
Good. But that could be a title for your next tour. Rusty but still entertaining.
Rusty but entertaining. Yeah. Rusty Balls. There was a guy called Rusty Balls.
There was?
It's a terrible act. He used to do juggling and eat fire, and then I think he burnt himself to death. And that was his big finale.
Right.
People applauded and they didn't realize it was real. I'm on fire. Fuck, this guy's good.
Yeah, no, he is on fire.
Well,
you have a good week, Saleh.
You too.
And everyone else who's listening.
Have a great life.
Have a great life.
Be positive and help each other and wear a mask or don't wear a mask. Wear pants.
Wear pants.
I'd rather you wore pants than a mask.
Right. Yeah, you could be arrested for not wearing both in Victoria.
Yeah.
Either or.
Well, if you're going to be arrested for one of them, just no pants would be far more memorable.
Yeah. Well, if you're in that scenario where you had no pants but you had a mask, but it was compulsory, like in Victoria, to wear a mask, would you wear the mask in place of wear your pants? So you kind of like Eve.
Well, if I could do that, I'd need a big mask, like a huge, maybe a doona.
You need a welder's mask.
I need a welder's mask. Yes. Well,
all right,
okay.
mate.
Thank you very much. Good to
See you next week.
See you next week, I hope.